Well, Cub Swanson family man, right? I mean, that's the story now. How much different is life for you with this growing family you got?
I mean, it's been a trip, but it's been awesome. You know, I had to grow out a mustache, and I didn't know I was part of the deal, but apparently I signed somewhere, and it just came out.
It's a sharp-looking mustache.
Thank you.
Gotta ask, is that sticking around for fight week or the whole time? Are you going in the cage with that?
Yeah, I'm keeping it. We'll see how long it lasts afterwards. I've noticed I get a lot hotter. You know, it's summertime, and I'm like, damn. I gotta wipe this thing off.
Well, I want to ask. I mean, it sounds like you've made a lot of changes, in your personal life and training life and all those things. It seems like you're in a really great spot, right?
Yeah.
But then not getting the results that you want in the cage. So I wonder what that balance is like for you, man. To know that things are good personally and you're happy with the situation you're in, but not necessarily getting the wins that I know you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's just about being confident. Mentally, it's something that will cross my mind, but. At the end of the day, and I've said this before because I've been here a long time, I've had losses and I've bounced back from them. And sometimes when you're trying to grow and you're trying to become better at something, you're taking a different approach, you're doing things different, and it's to become better. And sometimes in that process, you have to take a step backwards. And I feel like I did that. Like my last fight, I got a lot of criticism for it, but I was happy with things that I did. I stopped all of Frankie's takedowns, and that was what I worked. I had limited time, and with what I was able to do, moving, having only a few weeks notice, and doing all that, I was very happy with the things that I wanted to do, but not happy with the result. So it's growing pains, and I think in the grand scheme of things, I'm becoming a better fighter overall, and I'm confident with that.
It's interesting at this point. I mean, you're a career. I mean, you're a veteran. You've been around. You've seen everything. You've done everything. But you feel like you're still reinventing and still growing and learning at this point.
Yeah, of course. I think one thing that I've done well, and I've had reassurance with it, with fighters ahead of me, and really just looking at the fighters that came before me and the fighters that are coming behind me, is, what I've done different and how I've been able to stay ahead of the curve, and sometimes fall slightly behind on things. But I feel like right now I'm ahead of the curve. But one thing that I've done really well is I keep hungry fighters around me, younger hungry fighters, and I try to stay open-minded about, just even with cutting weight and doing things like that, I was ahead of the curve. And then I realized that, I was ahead of the curve, 10 years ago. So being open-minded and saying, okay, it's time for change. I can do things different, and it's kept me in the now and kept me, relevant, and that's what this sport is all about. It's evolving all the time, and it's scary to me to think about the kids that have grown up with the sport. I knew nothing about it until I was 19 years old. So the kids growing up with the sport are the ones that are going to be scary, and hopefully I've got a title and done with it by then, and I don't have to fight those kids.
Do you still have love for the sport? I mean, I know you've got a family that you got to pay for. You got to put some money in the bank. But do you still love fighting?
Oh, 100%. I love it. I love the training. I love, everything about it. Sometimes, the sport, changes directions, and I'm not a big fan of, some of the drama about it and stuff like that. But it's a part of it, and I just try to find my niche in it. And that can be a difficult part. Is go, okay, well, this is a new thing. Where do I fit in? And that's the biggest thing, is just being, patient and going, okay, how do I fit in? And yeah, you figure it out.
You get matched up with Renato Moicano. I mean, he's not a young guy, but he is younger. He has less experience. He's hungry. He's got some impressive wins so far. I mean, when they came to you, A, did you know anything about him? And B, once you got matched up, what do you think about him now?
Yeah, I was watching him, especially because I had seen he had beat Jeremy Stephens. That's kind of when he popped up on my radar, and then I knew that I was going to possibly fight the winner of him and Ortega, and then Ortega won, and we ended up fighting. So once again, I had seen him, and now we were here. He had been calling me out, and that there's a line of people calling me out. I said, hey, that guy's the highest ranked out of all of them. I'll fight that guy, and and I'll go down the list. Fight's a fight. But yeah, I am impressed with the way he fights. He's very tactical. I don't think he's the most exciting fighter, but he does very well using his length, using his body, using his footwork at getting the wins, and I got to respect him for that. But I'm gonna knock him out, so whatever.
Nice. I was doing an interview earlier this week, and I had somebody ask me what I thought your legacy was, and I was like, man, that's kind of interesting. So I'm curious, what do you think? And what do you think your legacy is, or do you think it's still being written?
Oh, it's definitely still being written. I think that's why I'm still doing this, is because I'm chasing greatness in myself, and I feel like that's what's kind of kept me along. You know, the whole belt thing. That's just a roller coaster ride, you know, and really that's something else to chase. To me, it's the greatest performance. That's why I've always been in this from day one. It's like, how great can I be? That was literally why I decided to do this full time, was how great can I be? And that's what pushed me to get this far, and that's what continues to push me. So I think that's going to be my legacy, is how I've continued to grow over the years, how I've always tried to be exciting and entertain the fans. And number one, always being true to myself and being who I am and not trying to be something different. I've always been me, done it my way, and it's probably cost me a title fight or something like that, but I promised myself. I remember when I got denied on the Ultimate Fighter 5, everyone told me, hey, be a jerk, talk crap, do this, do that, and I was like, no, because if I don't get chosen to do the show, it's because they didn't want me for who I am, and I didn't get chosen, and I still made it to the big show and had a great career without them. So I'm not gonna try to be something else just to be famous or get paid more. I am who I am, and I want to be able to show my kids one day that I did it my way.
It's another big fight for you on Saturday. I know you don't worry about rankings and championship opportunities. I know you even said progress doesn't necessarily mean victory every time,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, what is the goal? Does a win here have to happen for you?
I mean, it's very important for me to get a win. I don't want to be in a situation where it's like a lot of pressure to win like that. I think it's 100% in my power to go out there and win this fight. I just need to go out there and do it. As far as the rankings, I mean, me and Renato are fighting, and Jeremy Stephens is ranked ahead of us, which, there's things like that. I'm like, okay. What's his name? Chad Mendez is ranked right behind me, and he just fought somebody that's not even ranked. And we can't talk about, the stuff before because, he was on suspension. So it's like, I don't think he deserves to be in there. Jeremy Stephens, I like both those guys, but I don't think he deserves to be ahead of me, or Renato. So the rankings are like, whatever. All I'm worried about is the big fights. This is a big fight. It's a big venue, and it's going to be fun.